Now, the Nigerian presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has been speaking at the prestigious think tank Chatham House in London. Around 100 supporters gathered outside the venue to chant their backing for the 70-year-old. Mr. Tinubu promised to tackle the deteriorating security situation in Nigeria head-on, so the country can also effectively improve security support for neighboring nations.
Nigeria has always crafted its domestic national security and economic development policies with some strategic foreign policy imperatives in mind. There is a close connection between domestic development and national security. On one hand, to prosper at home in peace and stability, Nigeria needs to uphold its national security, unity, territorial integrity, sovereign independence, and safety, as well as well-being of its people.
Bola Tinubu there talking in London at Chatham House. Well, Arise chief correspondent John Cookson was at Chatham House listening to that speech from Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he joins us now from London for more. Great to see you, John. Tell us more about what he had to say and the atmosphere at that Chatham House event.
Charles, it was marvellous. There was a lot of Nigerian colour that we've never really seen before at Chatham House. You have this staid institution, this think tank, well-respected think tank in just off Piccadilly, that's played host to kings and queens and presidents over the years. And suddenly, this force of nature of the crowd of Tinubu supporters outside, the police were called at one point, not because anyone was doing anything wrong, just to keep law and order. And then Tinubu himself, and you just played a clip there, a very interesting session at Chatham House. And I've never seen this before, Charles, where people first of all, the audience was packed to the rafters with Tinubu supporters. There was a couple of journalists, including myself. But all the questions, he sort of kind of biffed off most of them. And when the questions came in, he nominated someone who would be in his cabinet, should he win the election, to answer the question. So you had the governor of Kaduna State talking about what the new regime under Tinubu would do about insecurity. Dele Aleki of the APC campaign was delegated to talk about oil theft. So it was quite hard to get something out of him that was really concrete. I'll just run through just a few items quickly. First of all, he started off by saying that election violence has no place in Nigeria and it must stop, which got a big round of applause. He said that Nigeria will continue to provide leadership to other nations in the region. He spoke about the developing gas and approved all that was agreed at the COP conference, and he wanted technology to improve the agricultural sector in Nigeria. And he wants to boost annual growth by 7%. Now, all these are aspirational, and when pressed further, it was very difficult to get anything much more out of him because, as I say, he just delegated it to members of his clan in the audience. Interesting session, Charles.
Well, I was going to say, John, because you mentioned that it struck you as a bit odd that he elected people, his surrogates, essentially, to answer questions on his behalf. And I mean, I was watching the live event there. I mean, I saw obviously people like you, people like Patrick Smith of Africa Confidential, Anthony Goldman, very seasoned journalists who were there, who were clearly eager to get their questions across and have them answered by the man who is planning to be Nigeria's president. But I mean, did he give any reasons why he chose to delegate the questions to elected people rather than answer them, as is the tradition at Chatham House?
Well, Charles, I didn't hear him talk about that. Why he chose to do it. Look, maybe it's what he does. He was asked about why he doesn't do one-to-one interviews. And his reply to this, Charles, was very interesting. He said that, and I quote, "I see myself as a marketable individual. You want to use me to make money? I'm saying no," he said, which again got a big round of applause from supporters in the audience. He did take questions about his DNA, because that's been raised in recent weeks. Is he really a member of the Tinubu family? And he said anyone who queries that is quite welcome to ask for a DNA test. On his academic record, because there's been a dispute about whether he graduated or what he graduated in from Chicago State University all those years ago, he says that he's got a replacement degree certificate to show. Asked about his health, he delegated that to someone else and basically didn't give us a clue as to what his state of health was. He confirmed his date of birth as March the 29th, 1952. Again, some question whether he is actually 70 years old. And in fact, he might be a lot older. But anyway, that's what he insisted today, that he was born in 1952, Charles.
John, thanks very much indeed. And thank you for being there, bringing us all the colour from that a very unusual event at Chatham House today. John Cookson, Arise chief correspondent, talking to me from London.